Hi, my name's Mark from EndAllDisease.com. Today I got a lot of great information for you, including the dangers of liposuction that you probably never heard about, 3 outrageous weight loss products, and 3 clinical studies on red light therapy for fat loss. You'll laugh, you'll cry, and you'll be amazed all in one video. I jam-packed all that in there for you. Boom, let's go. I call this presentation Melting Fat with Red Light, the science of red light therapy for weight loss. According to the Center for Disease Control, more than 1/3 of US adults are obese. The actual number is 36.5%. Obese people have an increased risk for a number of diseases and conditions, including heart disease, stroke, type 2 diabetes, and cancer. So every single one of these people could benefit if they lost a little weight. Correcting this problem is vital for long-term health. Obese people tend to have larger medical bills as they pay to treat the symptoms that result from having excess fat. Fat cells produce estrogen, which activates the body's stress response. So symptoms related to stress will arise, and most people will return to their doctor for treatment and buy various drugs to treat the symptoms. According to the CDC, the medical costs for people who have obesity are almost $1,500 higher per year than those of normal weight. So there you go. Not only will you have better health, a happier life, you'll be able to keep a little more money instead of having to buy drugs all the time to try to treat your symptoms caused by the obesity. I'm not sure if you've looked into liposuction before. I hadn't until researching for this presentation, and in reality it warrants its own presentation of its own, which I might do in the future. But for now, I just want to tell you I made a little brief summary on this slide. Some of the shocking information about liposuction, if you're considering it or you know someone who is. In 2006, liposuction was the most common plastic surgery performed, with over 400,000 patients. Studies on both rodents and humans, so it's very thoroughly established that liposuction negatively affects metabolism, creates an increase in visceral fat, metabolic syndrome, and an increase in insulin resistance, possibly leading to type 2 diabetes. Here's the kicker. Liposuction also causes fat to deposit in untreated areas and poses serious risks of structural damage. There was a Colorado study in which participants got liposuction and were monitored following liposuction procedure, and all the fat that came off that was suctioned out of them returned in other places, in which the fat was not suctioned from. The Health Technology Advisory Committee wrote, "Death and disfigurement due to the cosmetic surgical procedure of liposuction should be a matter of serious public concern." But in reality, the public is mostly unaware of this. This is a quote from Dr. Juan Brow, a board-certified plastic surgeon from Oklahoma. Patients who have experienced unsatisfactory results from liposuction are often too humiliated to come forward, which could help warn others in hopes of preventing similar negative outcomes. So people become so disfigured, so humiliated with their bodies that they don't want to come forward and go public with that information. Thankfully, there's a website, I think it's called Liposuction Ruined My Life or something, liposuctiondestroyedmylife.com. On that website, there are many testimonials of people who have gotten liposuction who have come forward to tell the public about it. And some really gruesome testimonials on there. One I read about, it was a man, he was a bodybuilder getting liposuction, and they actually sucked out some muscle tissue from his chest and shoulder area. And now it's time for some comedic relief from that one. After learning about liposuction, here are 3 outrageous weight loss products. There are no shortages of people, programs, and devices claiming they can reduce your weight, but most of them don't actually work. Of the ones that do, some do so in ways that are stressful and damaging to the body. Here are the 3 outrageous weight loss products. Number 1, it's called the Happy Fork. It looks like a child's toy. It's like a plastic handled pink and white fork. And inside it has a battery, and this thing vibrates if you put it to your mouth with a fork full of food too much. So it calculates how often you are shoveling food into your mouth, as if health has everything to do with how quickly you eat. The next one, the neckline slimmer. I like this one a lot. This promises a slimmer, younger looking neckline by pressing down on this spring-loaded device. So basically it's a plastic device that you like pry between the center of your collarbone and your chin, and you basically crunch it down. And that is supposed to give you a slimmer neckline. Hilarious stuff. Outrageous weight loss product number 3. Coffee tights. Need I say more? You want some cream with those coffee tights? Oh, it's like tights with coffee powdered embedded right in the tights. And that is supposed to, of course, improve your metabolism and reduce fat. And now there is actually some evidence that coffee does boost your metabolism and can lead to weight loss, but tights? Really? All right, now we're going to get into 3 studies on red light therapy for treating obesity. This study comes to us from Sao Paulo, Brazil at Federal University in 2015. Researchers tested the effects of near-infrared light on 64 obese women randomly assigned to one of 2 groups. Group 1 was the exercise, aerobic, and resistance training plus phototherapy or red light therapy. Group 2 was the exercise training plus no phototherapy. The study took place over a 20-week period during which both groups of obese women underwent exercise training 3 times a week. At the end of each training session, one group of women received the light therapy and the other did not. Exercise and light versus exercise alone. What were the results? Remarkably, the women who received the near-infrared light therapy following exercise doubled the amount of fat loss compared to exercise alone. Additionally, the women in the exercise plus phototherapy group were reported to have a greater increase in skeletal muscle mass than the placebo group. Researchers concluded the following. Our results demonstrated for the first time that phototherapy enhances the physical exercise effects in obese women undergoing weight loss treatment, promoting significant changes. Other studies have reported similar findings in obese people who combined exercise with red light therapy. But even studies that did not include exercise have reported significant fat reduction from red light therapy alone. Here's one of them. Scientists from George Washington University conducted an independent physician-led trial in 2013 to test the ability of red laser light to reduce fat on the waist, hips, and thighs of obese individuals. Laser treatments were administered to 8 obese patients and consisted of 20-minute sessions every second day for 2 weeks. When researchers assessed the patients 3 weeks after the trial began, the results were remarkable. Compared with baseline, a statistically significant 2.99 inch or 7.59 centimeter mean loss was observed at the post-procedure evaluation point. Translation: patients lost 3 inches of fat from their waist, hips, and thighs in just 2 weeks of red light therapy treatment. And one more study. This is red light therapy alone versus obesity. 67 volunteers participated in a 2-week study and participants received red light treatment or a sham treatment. The treatment group received red light 3 times per week for 2 weeks. And 2 weeks later, reduction in circumference of the waist, hips, and thighs were assessed. Here are the results, and I quote from the study. Participants in the treatment group demonstrated an overall reduction in total circumference across all 3 sites of just over 3.5 inches compared with control subjects who revealed a 0.684 inch reduction. I made a little chart here for the waist, hips, and thighs as far as what was lost in the red light therapy treatment group. Waist, participants lost on average 0.98 inches, so about 1 inch from the waist, about 1 inch from the hips, and 0.65 inches from the thighs. 2 weeks, 6 treatments, 3.51 inches lost from red light therapy treatment. So if you compare red light therapy with liposuction, red light therapy has the potential to help you lose 3 inches of fat in 2 weeks. Liposuction, all fat suctioned out will return, and not in the area that it was suctioned from, but in other areas. Side effects. Red light therapy, there have been over 50,000 studies published to date, and not one reported side effect in any of those studies. Side effects of liposuction. Here are just a few. Increased fat, metabolic syndrome, insulin resistance, diabetes, bodily deformity, humiliation, and potentially death. If you're wondering how red light therapy works to reduce fat, the answer is pretty simple. By lowering stress hormones in the body, like cortisol and adrenaline, red light therapy increases the body's metabolism, causing it to burn more calories at rest. So the bottom line is foods and medicines that lower stress lead to weight loss. And in fact, the pharmaceutical industry is actually catching up And they're actually getting a little bit better because one of the most recent weight loss drugs is called clonidine, and it's an anti-stress, anti-adrenaline drug. So it fits right in with this paradigm that reducing stress leads to weight loss. Now, conversely, if you look at liposuction, it's a pretty traumatic procedure. So you could see how that would increase stress in the body, and you can see how that would lead to increased visceral fat. But as far as red light therapy, it increases your metabolism by removing and downregulating stress hormones. That is how red light therapy can help you eliminate unwanted and unneeded fat. If you enjoyed this video and want to support my work or want to try red light therapy for yourself, I have my own line of red light therapy devices at EndAllDisease.com. We've got the handheld device, the Body Light Mini, and the full body light for the ultimate red light therapy experience. I've also got 3 books that I published that I recommend you check out, 1 on red light therapy and 2 on cancer. For the show notes and to sign up to our mailing list, I created a special link that will take you right there. It's EndAllDisease.com/episode 8. That's EndAllDisease.com/EPISODE and the number 8. One thing I'd also like to ask is that if you enjoyed this presentation, please share it with friends and family on social media. Tell someone about it that you love. I'm Mark from EndAllDisease.com. Thank you again for watching, and we will see you in the next episode.